Good morning, students. In the last video, we learned that Norman Godsby was sitting on the bench of a park at dusk and was looking at the passerbys. Now, the author introduces us to the character sitting next to Godsby through his eyes. Godsby says that the elderly gentleman was sitting with a face of disobedience, which was probably the last that was left in him. His clothes could not be called shabby like the other defeated people, but definitely belonged to the orchestra that no one listens to anymore. After a while, the old man got up and walked away as Gosby sat there and saw him vanish into the darkness. As soon as the old man disappeared, the empty space was occupied by a younger man who sat down with a thud to clearly show his frustration. As the frustration was clearly shown, Gosby asked the reason, to which the young man narrated his story. He said that he arrived this afternoon to check into the Patagonium Hotel in Berkshire Square, where he learned that the hotel was replaced by a cinema hall. The taxi driver then took him to another hotel where he checked in and then went out to buy a soap as he was not comfortable using the one provided by the hotel. After buying the soap, he had a drink and then looked around in the shops. Then when he tried to go back, he realized that he does not remember the name of the hotel or the road to it. He said that he was embarrassed because he was new in London and don't have any friends. He said that he could wire his friends for the address but would only get a reply the next morning. And now he only have 2 pence in his pocket and have nowhere to go. After narrating the story, he saw that Godsby was silent, so he replied by saying that he knows that it is impossible to believe. Godsby replied in a sarcastic way that he once had done the exact same thing and was lucky to remember that the hotel was by a canal. So he looked for the canal and followed it until he found the hotel. The young gentleman did not understand the sarcasm and replied that it would not have been a problem if it was a foreign land, but being lost in his own land was the concern. And until he finds someone who would believe him and lend some money, he will have to sleep on the streets near a wall. But he was also glad that Gosby didn't find the story unbelievable. As Gosby considers him to be a good judge of character, he says that he knows that the last statement was made to make him believe and lend the money to the young gentleman. So that is all for today's video. Thank you and have a nice day.